Hello. We've got a few people here early. Hey. Give me a shout in the chat if you can hear me, if the audio is all good, and also where you're dialing in from. Hello. Hi, everyone. Can you see me? Can you hear me okay? Give me a thumbs up in the chat. Let me know. Hi, Dorothy from the UK. Hello. It cut in mid-sentence. Oh, did it? Yes, you can hear me. Okay, great. I'm a bit shiny today under all of these lights. Hello. Hi, Denise. Hi, Lisa. Pennsylvania. Hello, my love. What time is it there? Is it lunchtime? I get confused of what's Pacific and what's Eastern. Hey, Denise. Hi, Lisa. Mind of God. Love that. I made it for the live in time. I don't ever make it live. I'm glad you made it live. I'm so glad you made it live. It's been a little minute, I think, since I've been live. It's been a few weeks. So yeah, I'm glad that I can be here with you guys. Salute Row. Am I saying that? Salute Row? Am I saying that correctly? Where is that? Let me know. Let me know where you're dialing in from. Okay, 1:32. So you're East Coast, Eastern time, Eastern Standard Time. Amazing. Hi, Shan. Hey. So excited to be on the live with you. I know there's people from DMM here, which is my community, but also wider YouTube community. Appreciate you all. So I did a poll on what you guys wanted to see, and I think the options were Pinterest audit, marketing. Can't remember what the third one was now, but I know that marketing won. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about why digital marketing feels so hard. Whether you have a product already or whether you are working towards having a digital product, but you still feel a bit intimidated about how you're going to create content, how you're going to market it, how you're going to get sales. This is what this live is going to tackle today. I would love, before we jump in, for you guys to just let me know where you're at. Do you have a digital product? Put 1 in the chat if you have one already. Put 2 in the chat if you're still working on one but don't have one yet. And put 3 in the chat if you're starting completely from scratch, like you don't have anything. So just let me know so I know what kind of examples to include. So 1, if you have a digital product. 2, if you're still working on one. 3, if you're completely new and this is all just like a lot for you. Hello. Okay, so you're Pacific. Am I saying that right? Hello, darling. That's a DMMR. Okay, so Fatima, you're still working on your digital product. Mandated reporter has one. Amazing. You have a digital product. I'm on to marketing now, and I'm going to be in this phase for a little while. Do you know what? Let me tell you something. You are always in this phase, okay? You never come out of the marketing phase. Even your millionaires, think of Alex Hormozy, right? Billionaire, marketing every day. Got a team full of marketers spending, I heard, over 500K a week on his marketing, okay? So don't worry if you're like feeling like you're going to be in marketing for a little while. Trust me, everybody is. This is where you're going to spend most, if not all, your time when it comes to selling your digital product. I'm just getting up my screen so I can share my screen with you in a minute. Okay. I know you have a digital product. Lisa has one. Okay. Still working on one. Hey, Jane. Jane has one too. Okay. Oh, you're on 3. That's fine. Don't worry. Today, we're not talking necessarily about niche and product ideas, although happy to take questions on that at the end. But we're talking more about how you can set a system up, which is actually going to drive traffic to your digital product. The thing is, right, and I'm sure you already know this, but allow me to underline it for you. It doesn't matter how pretty your digital product is. It doesn't matter how much time you spent on it. It might be the best bloody digital product out there. If you can't market it, you can't get traffic to your digital product. If nobody knows about it, you're not going to make any sales. Okay, you're going to make any sales, and then it's all going to feel like, what was the point? What was the point in me spending so long creating a product? Why did I buy that course? Why did I, invest in this when I've got no sales? It's because you need to really nail your marketing. That's what it is. Okay, so that's what we're going to focus on today. I do have a digital product, and I'm uploading my first YouTube video. Yes, love that. Love that. Dorothy has one. Okay, cool. So it seems like most of you do have digital products. Even if you don't have one yet, this is still going to be very, very helpful. Those of you that are inside DMM, have watched any of my lives before, some of this is going to feel, it's not repetitive, but it's going to feel familiar, because I'm going to be speaking on marketing strategies that I've been speaking on already. But the thing is, the more you hear about it, the more different perspectives you get on it. I'm developing every single day, learning stuff about marketing every single day, the better you're going to get. Okay. So even if you feel like, God, I've watched so many videos on marketing, it's still not clicking, keep watching, right? Because you're going to pick something up new that might just change the game for you. Okay. And might just be the difference. So let me jump in. Let me share my screen. I've been playing around with different ways to present visuals. I haven't necessarily done this on my recorded YouTube videos yet, but I think I'm going to start. So, okay. Okay, so here's my screen. And guys, if you're interested, I actually created this in Gamma. You know me, I'm all about the AI. To help you with that. Alexa, stop. I'm all about the AI, right? So I created this in Gamma. It took me 2 seconds. If you're creating digital products, if you're creating freebies, please be using AI to help you with your content. Not create all of the content for you. You need to really work with it on the outline. Once you have an outline, I repeat, do not spend hours formatting in Canva anymore. We don't need to do that anymore. Don't spend hours creating slides anymore, right? Your time is better spent on your marketing. So, you know that I have tried every single marketing platform there is out there. I started on TikTok, and you can see this pretty miserable. Every time I do a presentation like this, I find another picture where I was just miserable. I was just so frustrated. I'm even shocked how many different pictures there are of me. And it's just because I was categorizing the journey. And you can see this isn't even that long ago. That's my wedding picture in the back. And I've only been married just over a year. So this wasn't even that long ago, when I was literally at my wit's end with with TikTok and Instagram, right? Mainly TikTok at the time. And it's because it's unsustainable. Now, this is not me telling you that you cannot promote on TikTok. Of course you can, but you need to understand that short form social media strategy requires a lot of sustained and consistent input. You do need to be posting every single day, multiple times a day, to see traction with those platforms. And so what you need to ask yourself is, can you commit to that? Can you commit to posting all of that content? And if that is something that you are able to churn out, great. But if it's something that doesn't align with you, what you're going to find is that you're soon going to be super burnt out. You're going to think that you need to post more content. That more content is going to burn you out even further, and you're going to be in this vicious cycle where you're just not getting results. Okay. And really, that short form type of content over time doesn't really work well for introverts. Whoever's on this call that might be introverted, I know I was, because it requires you to be on every single day. It requires you to be ready to record pretty much every single day, which is draining. Okay. And also, if you are super busy entrepreneur, if you have a 9 to 5, I'm sure most of you do. I did when I was trying to build this. If you have kids, if you have any type of life outside of your business, you are going to find it hard to manage. And here's the reason why it feels so overwhelming, especially in short form platforms, is that your content dies so quickly. So even when I used to do videos, I used to think they were really good. I'd spent some time editing them, too much time editing them. that post only stays, only has momentum for so long, unless it goes viral. Some do go viral and then they last for ages. But most times they have a shelf life of just a few hours, especially on TikTok. If your views don't come in over the first few hours, literally TikTok will stop pushing your video. Instagram does the same thing, but over a slightly longer period of time. And it means that the hard work that you're doing is disappearing very, very quickly. And then from an algorithm perspective, we know that the algorithms are changing all the time. What is a day that I don't get up and someone tells me there's a new Instagram algorithm? And so your growth is never consistent because you always have to catch a trend. It's like, I don't sail, but let's say you do. You always have to catch the updraft of the trend. Otherwise, you're just stranded, right? If you're not catching the trend and you're not catching it early, you're consistently missing out on growth all of the time. And so again, if you're somebody that is able to spend all day on social media catching trends early and jumping on them early and then riding the wave, great, that will work for you. But if you're not, more often than not, the algorithm is going to be constantly working against you. And then the last bit is that the audience that you are capturing on those platforms quite often are in the wrong mindset. So you might be catching the right audience. You might be speaking to the right audience. They might be your dream customer, the person that you've made this digital product for, the person that you're going to help with your digital product. But the reality is that I'm scrolling on Instagram when I'm about to go to sleep or when I want to zone out, when I'm doom scrolling. Even though I might be your right audience, I'm just not in the mindset to absorb your message. I'm not on Instagram or TikTok to really learn anything new. I mean, sometimes I am searching stuff that I want to know on TikTok, but like most of the time, it's just through boredom. And so, unlike platforms like YouTube, where people are actually coming here to seek out information, which is how you found me, most times on the other platforms, people are not in the mindset of receiving that message. And so, a lot of the time, you're just kind of wasting your energy talking to these people when they're not ready to receive it. How many times have you saved a post thinking I'm going to come back to it later when I've got a bit more time, when I can think about it, and you just never do? Let me take a moment to check the chat. You guys let me know if this is resonating. I have digital products, affiliate products, but I don't know how to promote content creation. Didn't make any sales. You're in the right place, my love. We are talking about marketing today. So you should come out of here really understanding what systems can work for you in your different stages of marketing. Okay, so take notes, ask questions. Let's get some breakthroughs for you today. Hello. PLR. PLR is a tough one. PLR is a dying niche. We can talk about that later. One of your brothers, a free prompts mentioned. Do you know, I think I actually responded to your message today, and I just had a video go live today as well, like 44 minutes ago. It's an AI related video, and the prompts are in there as well. Welcome from South Africa. I still take so much time creating with Canva. Can you do how to save time creating freebies? So I have been in this boat for a long time. First of all, use Google Docs. Stop using Canva. Love Canva, but we all have been in this, wicked vicious circle where we're just constantly tweaking colors, constantly tweaking alignment on Canva, and it's taking too long. So I actually have a live create a digital product with me where I do a freebie in Google Docs and I show you how to get your freebie done quick, like very quickly. So try that. Otherwise you can jump into my community where there will be lots more tutorials with AI. Hello. Hi, Raquel. Do you still recommend beacons? Yes, for beginners. For beginners, I recommend beacons for sure. Detroit, love that. Oh, I'm glad you caught me. I'm glad we caught each other. You have 2 apps. That's amazing. Marketing is a lifestyle. Yeah, it is. And to become a great business owner, to become a consistent business owner, you need marketing. You need to learn how to become a marketer. Burnout is my issue. Yeah, burnout is tough. Okay, so let's keep going. So now we've addressed, hopefully you can understand why short form content is very challenging, it's very overwhelming. It is possible to nail, but kind of the odds are stacked against you, right? Especially if you don't have a lot of time to really invest in marketing. So I had that same thing. I won't spend too long on this because I talk about this in so many videos, but like I relied on Instagram, actually TikTok lives. I was doing a lot of Instagram and I was just burning out. Also had a job, also had a life, was also wedding planning, crazy time, right? And it was just what you find on these short form content platforms is like there is no room to breathe. There is no room for kind of any rest. You constantly need to be posting, which is always going to lead to burnout in one way or another. And when I realized that, when I got to a breaking point where it was either I find something else that's going to work for my marketing, or I literally just give up this dream of having a freedom-based business. That's what it got to, because I just knew that there was no way that I could continually create social media content every single day. So here is where the pivot is. You've probably seen a lot of my videos on Pinterest, but let me just cover why Pinterest is a no-brainer for most niches, unless you're going very male. Pinterest is all search optimized, right? So this is how you work smarter, not harder. With Pinterest, you still need to create a lot of content, but it can all be batched, okay? Because you're not having to do it live, you're not having to talk on camera, and if you don't want to, you're not having to actually create content that takes time to edit. You are literally creating very simple pins in Canva, or you can do it in Tailwind, and you can do it if you put the time aside in a couple of days. 1 or 2 days, especially when you're starting off, 1 to 2 days, you can have all of your pins batched, and then you can use a platform like Tailwind, which is a different tool that I won't go into today, but I have a whole playlist on that can literally schedule all of your pins. What it means is that you have evergreen traffic. You always have traffic coming through to your digital products because you always have pins automatically going out. You always have existing pins on your page driving your traffic. Okay. And so when I discovered that Pinterest actually was less about social media and more about clever search and SEO optimization, which is quite easy to do, especially if you have my Pin Perfection kit, I was able to crank out a lot of content very quickly and have a lot more time to actually dedicate to spending, creating, doing all my funnels, doing all my landing pages, because I knew that my marketing was kind of taken care of. And so that is the difference with Pinterest, is that you probably won't get instant results. So technically on TikTok, you could go on there tomorrow and get a viral video if you're really lucky. It's not like that on Pinterest. It's more sustained growth, it's more steady growth, but it's more consistent growth. And what you'll find that on Pinterest, pins, I have pins myself from about 8 months ago that are still bringing in traffic. I have seen people from doing my research on Pinterest still have pins that are driving traffic after years of being on Pinterest. So you have a traffic source that doesn't die within a day. In fact, it lasts for years. And as long as you keep your landing pages the same and don't change your URLs, you can always have a consistent stream of traffic coming through on Pinterest. Okay, so that is why Pinterest is such a slept on tool that I won't stop talking about, because all you need to do is understand how to find keywords, which is as simple as going to the drop down, typing in your niche, seeing what keywords come up, and putting those into your titles and into your descriptions. And I do have a playlist that shows you how to do that. So let me just see if we've got any questions. Yeah, I do recommend Beacons. You can have upsells in Beacons for sure. Any tips on recommendation of digital marketing? Pinterest would be amazing for travel. There's so much travel content that you could create on Pinterest. The first thing that I would do, I would go on Pinterest and I would start searching your niche, start finding other creators in the travel space, seeing what they are creating, and then building out your pin strategy from there. Your thoughts on getting marketing jobs in the UK? What kind of marketing jobs? What kind of marketing jobs are you looking for? What kind of experience do you have? That's quite a different topic, actually. Digital party, but is there another platform other than Canva? So to actually create your products, and if you are creating things like party invitations, Canva's still the best. Canva's still the OG, but you can start using AI. I see a lot of people using Midjourney to create their designs and then maybe putting them into Canva. I'm also playing around with Kittle at the moment just to see if it's got any use above and beyond Canva. But right now, Canva's still the OG for that. You're welcome. So you didn't get Pinterest. Let me know exactly what you tried, where you got stuck, and then we can like help you move forward. Marketing frameworks, for sure. Thanks, Raquel. Yeah, Pin Perfection. Pin Perfection is my marketing system. It's got a custom AI, it's got some training in there, and it's got some templates that will help you create pins quicker. It's not a must. You can do it without it, but it's just going to speed up the process of giving you actual pin titles, actual pin descriptions that you can start getting onto Pinterest so you can start getting traffic. That's 2.5k views is very good, and Pinterest takes a little while to build momentum, so you do need to kind of stick with it for 90 days. But 2.5k for your first 30 days is good. It depends on how many pins you're posting as well. I do use Pinterest to send traffic to my YouTube. I haven't done it in a little while. Been very busy. But when I first started my YouTube, I was using Pinterest and I was linking directly to my YouTube videos. So you can use Pinterest to grow your other platforms as well. You can also set up an integration. So if you do want to keep doing Instagram, you can automatically post all of your Instagram posts to Pinterest, which is going to increase your traffic. You can also use a site called Repurpose.io, which will take all of your content from any platforms and repurpose it to any different platforms. So when I first started, I was taking a lot of my TikTok videos using Repurpose.io, which automatically was repurposing them to YouTube and Pinterest. And that helped me grow a lot, especially at the start. Okay, yeah, Jane, I know you're already in DMM. Oh yeah, I always forget, Jen, that you have Jane as your YouTube. Yeah, definitely use a Google Doc. I happy to do a training on DMM in this. Like, I think we all need to step away from over designing, especially our first product. My community will be able to attest to this. Is like when you're creating your first product, or if you haven't got sales yet, if you're focusing on design, you're focusing on the wrong thing. You need to be focusing on sales, because if you can't get your product to sell, no matter what marketing system you're using, then your product is not the right fit for your audience. You haven't got, we call this product to market fit. You haven't got the right type of product for the audience that you're creating for. So you then need to take a step back. You then need to make sure you've done all of your validation. So there needs to be research taking place before you're creating any product to make sure that people actually want it, that it's actually in demand. And so if you're spending all your time designing a product that people don't actually want, or is not the right fit for your product, you're effectively wasting your time. So you need to get the minimum version, the minimum viable version of your product out there. You need to market it either through organic, through Pinterest and YouTube, which I'm about to talk about in a minute. And you need to make sure that there's demand. Even if you just get a few sales, you can validate there's demand. Then you can go back to your product if you want. You can design it, you can add more stuff to it, but you already know that you've got a winning product, right? So that's really important. It's one of my lives. It's called Create a Digital Product with Me. I think it's one of my first lives. You're going to have to scroll back for it, I'm afraid, my love. If not, you can just comment on one of my posts on my YouTube page and I will send it to you. Where to sell an ebook. Beacons would be my first response. I need some context on, like, is this your first time selling it? Do you have other products that you want to upsell? But from a very basic standpoint, Beacons is a great place to start. I've not tried Buffer. I know that I will not move away from Tailwind unless I don't know what would make me move away from Tailwind. Tailwind is the go to me. But I haven't tried Buffer. I don't know anything about it, so maybe I shouldn't make those bold statements. Yeah, market on one platform if you can. think about it, guys. If you're new, you're still learning the ropes on how to market on whatever platform you choose. You don't have a lot of time. If you stretch your time across multiple platforms, you are actually going to grow at a slower pace because it's going to take you time to learn the nuances of each platform. The YouTube algorithm is different from Instagram, it's different from TikTok. And if you've ever taken one piece of content, try it tomorrow if you like. Take one piece of content, post it across all three platforms, you'll see that it performs vastly different because each platform has a certain style and certain elements and components that it wants from your content in order to perform. Okay. And so I don't recommend at the start promoting across multiple platforms. You can work your way up to that because you will grow your reach. But at the start of your journey, you really want to focus on mastering at least one platform. Now, let me just quickly finish this so that we can go fully into the questions. Pinterest is my most effective traffic source. Even though I've been actually slacking on it recently, it's still my most effective traffic source. This is what brings people to my digital products. But YouTube is about trust and about community, right? I grew 17,000 in 7 months. Seems good, but a lot of people do it even quicker. And really, what I was focusing on is long form content. Why? Because it builds trust. Not only are people, you guys are here on YouTube, not only are people looking for more informational based content on YouTube, which means they're more likely to spend more time with your content, and therefore, if it's the right fit for them, continue through your funnel. You actually build trust and credibility on YouTube. There's nothing like it. Think about your reaction to watching a YouTube video and how that is different from TikTok and Instagram. And so, really, when you bring them together, YouTube also brings me a lot of traffic. But when you bring the Pinterest traffic together, paired with the YouTube trust and credibility, that is when you get a marketing system that not only brings you traffic, but also brings you traffic that's actually ready to buy. Okay. Because what you also don't want is to have a ton of freebie downloaders, a ton of people that just watch your content and don't actually purchase. Okay. So this is how I have found the best combination of balancing the strengths of traffic from Pinterest and the relationship building and trust and credibility of YouTube to actually sell my digital products without creating content all the time, right? And even though it might seem like you see a lot of videos from me, don't know if you do feel like that, I only record usually 2 days a month. 2 days a month is all that I record YouTube videos. And then I spend about 1 to 2 days on Pinterest. And that I'm about to outsource to a VA anyway. So soon I won't be even touching Pinterest and it's still going to bring me in traffic. And so think about how much more alignment, think about how much less pressure, think about how much time you would actually have to work on your digital products and work on your funnels and work on your emails and everything else that comes with this strategy if you weren't having to constantly create content every day. Okay. And so that is the system that I want and encourage all of you to be exploring so that you can actually make long form content that people actually want to watch, take action from, and that you're not having to constantly post and burn out. Okay, so I've talked about how they work together. Email marketing is the other element. It's too much to cover in this live, so we can cover that at another time. But really, that's how about you nurture all of your leads that you get through your freebie and how you actually kind of move them along through the journey to actually buy and have sales, right? And this has been some of my results. So for those of you that don't know, I was managing this with my 9 to 5 for out of that 7 months, 5 months. And when I got made redundant, I didn't need to find another job. Didn't need to find another job at all because I'd already replaced, which was a high level corporate job, with my digital product income. Okay, so that's one of the things that I know a lot of people are looking for. It's not going to happen instantly, but if you are consistent, you have all of the components to build a business that can actually replace your 9 to 5. Okay, so that's been the biggest result for me. The second one has been YouTube subscribers. Subscribers is just a number, but what it does mean is that you build your community, and the more you build your audience, the more you have sales because you have traffic, right? And I literally can get 6 weeks of content for 1 week of work. So, and that includes all of my planning, that includes creating content, and I don't edit anymore. If you edit, it will take a bit longer, but I outsource all of my editing. And so I can literally work on content for 1 week and have enough to last me for 6, which means that I'm not getting burnt out, and which means that I actually have time to focus and grow my business. Okay, so this is the marketing strategy I want you guys to be exploring, following. If you want to do more of this alongside me, if you want feedback, if you want my actual coaching, my training, my frameworks, then I do encourage you to jump into my mentorship. Right now, it is very affordable, a monthly payment. There's no contract. You can jump in and get that support that you need and that momentum you need to move forward. Okay, so that is all that I wanted to share. We have still got some time for Q&A. So drop your questions in if you haven't already. And I'm going to go through some of these. I'm going to be looking down now. Yeah, Kittle, I am looking at Kittle right now. To me, at the moment, it's not offering me anything above and beyond Canva, because Canva has a lot of AI features right now that are actually killing it. But I am looking at Kittle to see if there's anything useful there. You're welcome. And questions about Pinterest and YouTube, drop them in here. I've only been marketing on Instagram. How is that going for you? What results are you seeing? Are you seeing traction? Are you getting responses to your comment? Are you getting leads? Let me know. How many pins a day on Pinterest? So schedule them all in advance. I would aim for 5 pins a day. Now, I know that sounds like a lot, but really it can be the same pin. You can just change the image, or you can just change the writing on the pin, the copy. You can just change the colors. You only need to make small changes to your pin to count as a fresh pin. And because it's search engine optimized, the more search optimized pins you're putting out there, the better. So that's what I would aim for. So you can create all of those pins literally in a day or two, in a weekend, and then Tailwind will automatically schedule them out for you. One platform like Instagram or other platforms as well. If you're already committed to Instagram, stick with Instagram. Do it at least for 90 days. Test all of the stuff that you've been told to test on Instagram. I probably will do another sprint on Instagram and see how it goes. I think the thing with Instagram is that if you're already got that content, you can easily repurpose it to Pinterest. So use something like a Repurpose.io, or Pinterest even has a native like connection to Instagram where it can just push your stuff automatically. But I do caution with that, because it doesn't bring through any keywords. You would still have to go in and update your keywords. So I would just repurpose your content rather than trying to create new content for another platform. You can also repurpose to YouTube Shorts as well. Yeah, 10 a week is still good. Like 5 a day is where I aim for. I very rarely get 5 a day, maybe 2 or 3 a day. But if you can up that amount to that 10 that you're posting for the week, just change the copy, change the colors, and repost them. Okay, and that will increase the amount of pins, and that will make sure that you're getting more views. It's been hard on IG. Any recommendations? Go into Pinterest. Go into Pinterest. Hopefully you've done your research, and so you know that this is a product that's like validated. Are people looking for it? Is it solving a specific problem? So you do need to look at your product first. You know, what is the reason for people to buy it? Is it a strong enough reason? Is it priced correctly? So those are also some of the things that you need to consider. But if you've done all of that research, you've looked at your competitors, you've maybe even found some people in your target audience, even if they're friends or family, and you've actually tested the product on them. And it's, you know, you've had good feedback, you've had social proof, you've had testimonials. If your marketing still isn't driving traffic, then I would definitely recommend exploring some of the strategies I've mentioned here in terms of using Pinterest and YouTube. I think YouTube would actually work really well for teen girls as well. So Pinterest scheduler is manual. So you need to upload every single one of your pins. You need to tell it exactly when to schedule it. And it just is more time consuming. There was a time when I didn't want to pay for Tailwind, when I was like at the start of my journey and running out of money fast. But I pretty much switch back to Tailwind very, very quickly, because Tailwind will automatically find the best times to post your pins. You can use Tailwind Create in there, which will help you repurpose your pins and create more pins quickly. And I just think for the monthly cost, it is worth the investment. So that would be my opinion on that. Yeah. I mean, think about how overwhelmed you are switching between different platforms, Raquel. So you're already overwhelmed. Pulling back on those other platforms is not going to make you any more overwhelmed. It's actually going to make you more focused. And when I say the biggest game changer in business, making money online, side hustle, whatever you want to call it, is focus. If you lack focus and you're focused on too many different things, you're really going to struggle to see progress. If you're getting great views on Instagram, stay with it. Make sure you're using ManyChat, so the automation software, so that when people comment on your posts, you can get their email address, you can deliver a freebie, right? So for some people, Instagram works well. Stick with it. Make sure that you are growing your email list at the same time, though, right? Because if the algorithm changes, or, God forbid, Instagram goes down, what are you going to do? You need those people on your email list so that you then own your own, you're then in charge of your own marketing. Okay, so that's really important. So that's what I would focus on, growing your email list if you're already killing it on Instagram. So well done. Yeah, if you've just started, 100 to 200 views is normal on Instagram if you've just started. So don't be dissuaded. And you need to try everything for 90 days anyway to be able to see if it works. If you're telling me that something's not working, and then when we dig in, then you've actually only tried it for 30 days, or you've not been consistent, then you haven't really tried it. Okay. You need to be consistent for at least 90 days so you can understand patterns, so you can learn enough to actually make progress on any platform. Setting up beacons. Yeah, I do have a video on that. It's one of my early videos. I think it was the first one to pop off, actually. It says start with 0 on the thumbnail. And it's where I can't remember what the title is, but it's something like stop paying to sell your digital product. And I do a full beacons walkthrough in there. And there's lots of other YouTube videos on it as well. Yeah. Yeah, you'll find a lot of tutorials online on beacons. So don't worry, Tracy, you'll definitely be able to kind of get to grips with that. So YouTube is my biggest, makes me the most money, because that is where I have the hottest leads. Okay. So Pinterest brings me in a lot of traffic that goes into my email marketing, and they do convert, but YouTube brings me in more money because I have a bigger audience, essentially. So that is the difference between them. It changes all the time though, guys. Yeah. 35 pages long. Yeah. And also, that's a good point, right? You make a very good point here, is that, like, also look at where your audience are. So for some audiences, although I'm talking about Pinterest and YouTube being the best way to promote your product, for some audiences, Pinterest is not going to work. Like if you're targeting men, specific, not saying men that are not on the platform, but it's like 70% women, then you need to look at another approach. And so it's really important that you do your research. Where are your audience? If you're targeting teens, maybe you do want to be on TikTok, because that is where they are. If you're targeting CEOs and executives, maybe you want to be on LinkedIn. Okay, so make sure that you are incorporating where your audience actually is into your strategy. But generally, something like a YouTube is going to touch pretty much every audience. Everybody is on YouTube. It may seem like it's more Gen Z, but that is not the case. There is a whole, there's a very widespread variety of audiences on YouTube. I found it from onlinejobs.ph, which is a Filipino, it's basically a Filipino version of Fiverr. And they have really great talent. They're paid well, and I would just recommend it. Mm. £57 for your first month isn't slow. Do you know how much I made in my first month? Absolutely nothing. I mean, nothing in my first month. So 57 isn't slow. And again, we need to reprogram our minds. You know, I hope I don't play into this as much as other gurus, but you're not going to make your 10K in your first month. You're just not. It takes time. It takes time for you to really understand what's working for your audience, what's working for your routine, how to stay productive, how to stay consistent. So I want to encourage you that £57 is a win. It's a win for your first month. Okay, so just keep going. Keep going. I know so many people that have made millions now from digital products. They didn't make anything for months. So keep going. Yeah. So some people say don't use shorts. I dabble with shorts. Shorts normally push you out to new audiences. But what you need to understand is that the same audiences that watch your shorts aren't always the same audiences for your long form. Why that is, I don't quite know. And so if you're focusing on one, it would be long form because you can cut that down to shorts and you can use something like Opus Clips, Descript. There's so many platforms out there that will cut your long form content into shorts. And that's why I think it's better to focus on your long form content. But if you have short form content from TikTok, from Instagram, if you've created it before, then put it on YouTube as long as it aligns with your channel niche. Try not to create shorts just to go viral. It's very tempting. You're going to get views, but you're not going to get the right type of views. People are not going to buy, and then the YouTube algorithm is not going to know the right people to push your videos to because you've just got all these random views from a viral video. Okay. So fight the urge to do that. Views do not mean sales. Let me repeat that. Views do not mean sales. I have got the most sales on some of my lowest viewed videos. You know why? They might have low views, but they reach the people they were supposed to. Okay. So just have that mindset while you're creating. But well done for starting your YouTube. Well done. I'm gonna subscribe to you. Yeah, you can repost other people's pins on top of the 5 a day. Do that on top of it because that will give you an extra boost, Jeanette. I will start to have a lot of views after almost 2 months. Okay, well done. That's a lot of views, but not a lot of saves re-engaged. This is the type of content that you're creating. This is all down to the type of content, the type of pins. Are they shareable? Are they savable? Are they things that people actually want to come back to? Do you have strong CTAs? So maybe the next live I will do Pinterest audits if it's voted on. But Jen, you are inside DMM, aren't you? So just pop your, I don't know if we reviewed it already, but if not, pop your link and I will do the review for you in the next Q&A. Print on demand. You need to create print on demand products that specifically relate to the educational content that you're doing. And that's tough because most print on demand products are like consumer goods. So, stuff like clothing, candles, it can be quite difficult to do educational based content around that. You've got a faith-based audience, which is good. Back to school merchandise for faith-based audience with school age children. Yeah, so you could do educational content around like parenting, you know, home life, as long as you can link it back to your actual product. That's what I would say. Otherwise, print on demand probably works better with ads or just product pins on Pinterest, especially if you can appeal to like a mummy audience. That would work really well. I'm actually dabbling in print on demand myself. I'll have a video coming on that soon, so I'll keep this in mind on like the link between educational content. But really, it's more about feature-based content and maybe offer-based content as well. YouTube newbies. Yes, love it. Join the gang. This is probably a separate live, I can't lie. And I also do have, I keep saying this, but it's coming. I do have a series coming up on how to start your YouTube channel completely free. The first thing that I would do is go out and do research on your niche. Go out and find all of the most kind of viewed creators in your niche. Find the videos which we call our outliers. Outlier videos are videos that have got more views than their norm, or true outlier videos normally have more views than subscribers. So for my page, for example, if someone was looking in my niche and wanted to quote unquote copy my content, they would be looking for videos over 17k views. And then you model your content on that. Now, don't copy. It's really important not to copy, but you want to model your content. So if they're talking about a specific topic, maybe you want to do your own spin on that topic. Or if they've missed something in their video, maybe you want to do your own spin on it. So that is really the game when it comes to content creation. Don't guess at what ideas are going to work. Do your research, find the ideas that other people have already told you, already showed you are going to work, and then put your own perspective on it. Do a plan of like 30 videos and then just start recording. Don't worry about having everything perfect. Don't buy a camera, do it on your phone. You can do AI editing in the script. Just get the videos out there, because your first 30 videos, maybe not 30, your first 15 videos probably going to be pretty shit anyway. Mine were, okay? And that's fine. I'm not saying that your videos are bad, but they're going to be, because you're just starting out. So don't worry about it. Just get them out. Just start warming up that content muscle, and then you will see that you will get better with every single video. Go back and watch some of my earlier videos. They're actually quite cringe. Oh yeah, I was going to do a quick mention of PLR. How many comments we got left? Not too many. Okay, cool. So PLR, from some, and you know, my community have heard me say this a number of times. I have a PLR shop. I don't think I've created a new PLR product in quite a while, and that is because I observed that the PLR industry was becoming, I don't believe in saturation, but becoming very crowded. And there was an influx of low quality PLR products. What that means is that consumers start to associate this industry with low quality products. If you go on Etsy right now and type in PLR, you're going to get 99p templates that you can resell as your own. Are they cheap? Yes. Are they good? No. And so what I found is that the niche was devaluing, you know, because there's so much bad stuff out there that people don't want to invest in PLR or good quality PLR anymore. So that has been my challenge with PLR. I still have all of my products. They're still great. I'm not going to charge 99p for them. And so therefore, like, that niche, the demand is really reducing because there is so much supply. Think about it in like economics. There is so much supply, less demand, price goes down, and it means that there's less profit margin. So I'm not telling you not to do PLR at all. I'm just telling you to do your research and make sure that you can find a sub niche within PLR that isn't overcrowded with low quality products. Yeah. Maria Went does some really good advice. Obviously, she's very Instagram focused, so slightly different to what I'm doing, but I definitely agree with the one product, one audience thing. And it doesn't have to be for a year. In my experience, it doesn't have to be for a year. It needs to be as long as it takes for you to get consistent sales. And you know, this idea came from Hormozi to start with anyway, so it has been tested a lot. I cheat with Tailwind by looking at times to post it. Okay, yeah, that's fine. And you know what's affordable for your budget, right? So that's absolutely fine. Do what you got to do. But as soon as you can afford it, do Tailwind, because it will allow you to post more. The more you post, the more views you're going to get. The more views you get, the more traffic you're going to get. The more traffic you get, the more sales you're going to make. Okay. So sometimes you do need to invest in yourself, but I totally understand. Is it okay to post more than one pin per day that leads to the same landing page? I heard they all. Yeah, it's fine. Just don't overuse the same landing page all the time. Okay. So if you can have some variety in your landing pages, link to your freebie pages, link to your blog pages, link to your sales pages, and link to your other traffic sources like YouTube, you'll have a lot of variety. So let me just text my husband and tell him dinner is not ready. Nowhere near. Okay. It's like a devotional journal where the problem itself is help Christian women deal with stress, sadness, and high feeling. Okay, well that sounds really good. Make sure you're framing it in terms of the pain points you're actually resolving. Yeah, so make sure when you're marketing it, you need to lead with something like, have you ever felt stressed about your connection with God? Do you feel like you're losing your connection with God? You really need to lean into the pain points that people that are going through that are going to straight away identify it and then come to look for more information on your solution. I love the faith-based niche. I do see a lot of products in there though, so you just need to find a way to differentiate yourself a little bit. Oh, thanks, Raquel. That's really sweet. That's really sweet. You're welcome. Yeah, start. Honestly, that's the first step, guys. Just start something. Once you start taking steps, you'll immediately start to understand, get a clearer view on what you're good at, what you need to work at more, and what things come naturally to you, right? So just getting started. I know it can feel paralyzing. I know it can feel overwhelming, but you can literally come out of this live, write a list of things that you need to do, which is if you haven't got a product yet, you need to start researching and making sure that there's demand for your product. If you do have a product, you need to pick one platform and you just need to start posting. Especially on YouTube, you need to look at what other content is already performing well and then think about this, your angle or your spin that you can put on it. So that's amazing. So make sure you're just leaning into that in your content. Talk about what's different. You've got a weekly devotional, you've got a weekly practice, you've got something that's actually going to be a tool that they could use each day. So it sounds great. It sounds like you can really explain it here. Make sure that your marketing reflects that as well. You don't just want to say, I have a devotional journal. Like, so what? What does that actually help people do? What will people get from it each week? That's the type of content that you can create. Yeah, you are on the right track. You're doing really well, my love. Yeah, we do. We do have a great community. And this is like common occurrence here. I would love to join YT but with event digital product, I don't know how to spin that. What type of event products do you have? What do they look like? What do they help your customer do? What problems do they help them overcome? Mm. If you're selling teacher related digital product, like educational related digital products, you might actually want to try Etsy. I don't love Etsy, don't recommend Etsy, but you might want to try it because I know that niche sells really well on Etsy, depending on what type of product you're selling. So just do your research there, see what price people are charging for digital products. And if it feels like a cost that would make sense for you, it might be something worth trying just because I know that niche, works really well on Etsy. You're welcome. Yeah. TikTok and Instagram are like needy, like it's in like a one-sided relationship, isn't it? Like they want so much from you, and then maybe one day they'll give you a couple of views on your video, and then it's like dead again. It's like being in a toxic relationship, honestly. Okay, so we've got to the end of the questions. I hope this has been helpful. What I want you to take away from this is that you don't need to be constantly posting on social media. You can take a more sustainable approach to your digital marketing. If you work smartly and you're able to manage your time effectively, you can batch create a lot of your Pinterest and YouTube content so that it's working for you rather than you having to constantly put out content. If you don't have a digital product yet, if you're one of those people that put a 2, make sure that you're going to do your research. There's lots of different ways you can do this. I recommend Perplexity. I recommend Etsy, so using Etsy for research purposes, seeing what people are selling, seeing what the reviews are, and using that as a barometer on whether there's actually demand for your product, because that is really important. I don't want you wasting time, spending time designing, making a product really, really pretty if you haven't got the right product fit. Okay, so that's really important. Yeah. Okay. Thank you guys for joining the live. If you want more support like this, if you want feedback, if you want a community that actually will support you on the journey, then think about jumping into DMM. It's my new mentorship, and people are seeing real breakthroughs in there. Otherwise, I will see you on YouTube. Go and check out the video actually that I just dropped. I'm doing a side-by-side comparison of what ChatGPT gave me in terms of creating a profitable digital product and what I would do differently. I see a lot of people just blindly going into AI. AI is great, but just blindly going into AI saying, can you give me a digital product idea? And then going to sell it without realizing that there are other steps in between. So I give away a lot of my prompts and show you how I go through the process of creating profitable digital products with AI. So check that out. That just launched, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.